Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy KPR bringing you guys another video, and this time I'll be on Overwatch 2. Today I'll be explaining why you need to learn how to play Reaper, because I've seen so many matches where I'm a healer or tank, and we just need someone else to help out with either murking the tank or their pocketed DPS. Of course they can go for healers as well, but most times than not, they will be getting protected by their tank or DPS, and Reaper is just one of those few characters that is able to health gate a bit and be able to keep doing enough damage to be out healing their support pocketing them. Some of you may be saying he's easy to learn or easy to play, however, just because he's a 1-star doesn't mean you will be able to use his whole kit to its max potential. There have been so many matches where I have seen some of my teammates pick Reaper, but not be able to give any value even though they are up against big targets such as Bastion, Winston, or Torb. The list goes on, but those are the main people he can easily counter even if they are being pocketed. Reaper can do around 220 damage if all pellets hit the crit up close. You will also be healed for around 35% of the damage you dealt. Also keep in mind that the target you murk will only heal you for the remaining health it has and not the damage you fully dealt. I first learned how strong Reaper can be if learned at a high level. I learned this during the GOATS meta in Overwatch 1. I don't know why more people didn't go Reaper during that meta. That dude was just eating good, if you actually knew how to play him, of course. In almost all of my matches, we didn't have to go GOATS comp, and that's because I would easily take care of their tanks, and their heals weren't able to do much about it due to the other team, or due to my other teammates keeping them busy. I will give you guys some tips to dominate with Reaper and how you should be playing him whenever there is a dominating tank, whether that be Ramattra, Ryan, or Ball. He counters all those tanks, or almost all of them, and sometimes control up against Orisa. However, he is still able to dominate her if she isn't good with her cooldowns. So let's get on to the weapon and abilities Reaper has. First, he has his 2 shotguns that can do a maximum damage of 220 or around there if all pellets hit the head. This can be very useful because you will be able to one-shot most CPS if you are able to get close enough. Next, his abilities. He has Wraith Form. It makes you invulnerable for the duration, but you can't shoot back either. You can also cancel the ability by pressing primary fire. This should be used to dodge abilities, take off debuffs, or to reload. Most people use it to reload, and those who don't know how to play him right use him to try and get somewhere faster. This should only be done when it is in overtime, but it will leave you at a disadvantage depending on how far you are. If you are far enough where you'll be able to get Wraith Form back in time, then you should be able to use it, or Pika to use it, whatever. Next ability is a teleportation ability, which can teleport you up to 35 meters, and you can now teleport while jumping, so if you have a fast reaction time, you are able to teleport back up if you are thrown off the map by people such as Pharah, Ball, or Doomfist. There are a few more that can do it, but those are the most likely ones to do so. I would suggest using teleport to flank. He does not announce that he is about to flank, even though on your end he does. The only thing the enemy team will hear is the effect of teleportation does, so make sure to do it somewhere where they won't expect you coming from. And last is his healing ability, which lets you health gate. You are able to heal for 35% of the damage you deal. And note, if they have less than the damage you deal, it will only heal you for their remaining health, 35% of that, and not the damage you actually fully dealt. Just keep that in mind once again. Those are all the abilities Reaper has. I will be giving you guys some tips that help me dominate with Reaper in my lobbies. Tip number 1 is to make sure to be up close enough to your target to be able to 2-shot them if you are trying to flank them. I have seen so many times my teammates mess up an easy flank where they could have secured at least 1 kill due to them shooting too early and letting the target escape. Most of the time when that happens, they begin to choke and miss their shots, along with them getting murked and making the team lose that push. This can be very annoying for your team, so make sure you are close enough to secure your kills and not be a nuisance to your team. Tip number 2 is to shoot right before you ult in order to secure maximum damage. I actually did this against Bap when he threw out his lamp. I shot his lamp twice and then I shot Bap once because I was falling from a high enough place to do so. This should be done whenever you are about to ult, and try not to telegraph that you are about to ult as well. What I mean by that is that you shouldn't use Wraith to push and ult. You are basically putting a huge target on your head and telling the enemy team to focus you. Also, against targets that have crowd control abilities, make sure that they have used their abilities so you aren't taken out of your ult. Tip number 3 is that you are able to cancel your reload animation once Reaper has his guns in the air while reloading. This is able to be cancelled by meleeing, and it will make it so you are able to reload much faster. If you aren't able to tell when you are good to cancel the reload animation, then just pay attention to your ammo on the bottom right. Once it says 8 out of 8, then you are able to melee and you'll be good to go. Note that if you do it early, it will still cancel the animation, but will keep your previous ammo count. Tip number 4 is to focus the target that is carrying their team. Like I said before, you're able to murk targets even if they are being pocketed, and either ways, if it's a tank that is dominating the scene, then you're just going to be eating good that day, because a good Reaper can break down tanks like nothing. If you are up against Zarya, keep shooting her even if she bubbles. You are able to health gate much better than her shields can block damage. There have been so many times where I see a Reaper be scared to shoot a Zarya and then proceed to run away from her, and it makes me want to chuck a brick at them for being such a pussy. So anyways, make sure you challenge a Zarya with Reaper even if she still has her shields, because she won't be able to do nothing either ways. Tip number 5 is use Reaper's teleportation and flank the enemy team, and remember that he doesn't actually announce that he is flanking. I think teammates can hear that, but only teleportation effect will be audible for the enemy team. Another tip for teleportation is that you are able to dodge D.Va Bomb if done properly. This is more of a last resort. For instance, if there is no cover, you are on overtime, or you don't have Wraith. Tip number 7 is for you if you are playing against an Orisa. So what you have to do against her is that she'll most likely already armor up by the time she sees you. Most of the times because they're scared of Reapers, because they know they can just get bursted down like nothing, because Orisa's crit spot is just like one of the biggest ones in the game. So make sure to keep bursting her down while she's armored up, because she still has a pretty big hitbox, so you'll still be doing a decent amount of damage, especially now that armor got nerfed a bit. So after or during the armored, she'll most likely try to javelin spin or spear you, and you can try using Wraith form to dodge either one of those. The javelin spin, for sure you should try to wait it out. It's just really annoying. It'll keep moving you around. But if you use a javelin spear, try to dodge it, but even if you fail that, you should be good, because she cannot do enough damage to murk you, especially if you don't hit a wall, because that just adds a bit more damage to you and stuns you for about a second or so. So those were all my tips to dominate as Reaper, and hopefully you pick him up too, because a good Reaper does not need a pocket in order to bring value to the team, and it's just a dominating presence throughout the match. Another good reason to pick him up is because he's such a good tank killer and is able to pick up the slack if your tank isn't that good. Hopefully these tips were useful, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. With that being said, have a good day and stay safe. Later.